We are live.
Yep.
Thanks, Evan. Make sure I can see this on my screen. Validate what kind of delay we're looking at here. And then we'll rock and roll. Evan, you getting us all dialed in? Looks pretty good.
I am.
Awesome. Oh, nice. That'll help me out a lot.
I need to grab my phone so I can test the audio.
Okay. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back. Just doing a quick triple check on the audio test.
Audio is good.
Audio is good. All right. So my name is Bob. Welcome to the stream. Evan is running everything in the background. Then he will be sitting, well, he was right there and sitting right here, showcasing some gameplay. Today we're going to feature the new for 2024 HYDROC-16 connected to the liquid propulsion package. We're going to try about 3 games, Fortnite, Warzone, maybe some Cyberpunk, and we're going to do a little bit of stress testing on what I would consider optimized defaults per how I would set it up, and then we're just going to let it rip as well. So it should be a lot of fun. I've got my infrared thermal device here, which will allow us to kind of validate what kind of skin temperatures we have on the keyboard. Anything north of 50 degrees Celsius is very uncomfortable, and I want to be able to showcase just how cool these are to the touch in real life use, as well as fan acoustics. Now, this HYDROC has been running hard now for at least 30 minutes, and as you can see on screen, those temperatures are very cool. So
They can't see it on
oh, they can't. All right. Well, if you want to take us over to the screen, buddy, go for it. And then come on over. Let's rock and roll.
I was like, they can't yet.
So, Evan, you have Fortnite up. We did set this to epic settings, and I took off any sort of super sampling. If there's any kind of ray tracing, I have disabled that. What I want to try to do is achieve close to 60 FPS that I can at the native resolution of the display. Obviously, you can set this how you would like. In fact, I wouldn't even play this at these settings. They're a little bit too much, but I think a 60 FPS at epic settings, if dialed in right, can make this game look very nice. Now, the way the laptop is currently set up is in the BIOS, it is optimized defaults. And the control center I have set up to run 35 watts for the CPU and 150 watts for the GPU. And we'll run this for about 10 minutes, kind of monitor everything, and then we'll just crack the whip and max everything out, all while still maintaining out-of-the-box BIOS settings. So all in all, this has been running for maybe 35 minutes now, and this is idle quiet.
It's really quiet.
This is very, very pleasant experience. And looking at all of the statistic overlays that you see in the top left-hand corner of the screen with the CPU in the mid to upper 60s, GPU in the upper 50s, expect to see this come up a little bit, of course, during gameplay. But to have these kind of temperatures and just overall results with a laptop this powerful sitting in front of you is really a sight to behold and to really experience. And to see this on your end is one thing, but having this in front of you, we're surrounded by laptops all the time, whether we're testing them, pitting them against our own, and a lot of these do sound like hair dryers. And to have this set up like this, it is very pleasant. And the fact that I can hear myself speak, it's so quiet in here.
I mean, granted, you usually use a headset, or
Sure.
you should,
Yeah.
for most games, but regardless, it's for your atmosphere and
Yes.
like people around you. Now they won't hear the fans.
Yeah.
Whether or not you hear them or not, they won't hear them. They won't have to deal with that while you play. So
Absolutely.
it's great.
And the speakers from the system, I think, are better than they've been in years, which now having
100%.
better fan acoustics of your laptop just enhances that even further.
They just have better deep bass. Like your deep monotone or deep voices will really like come across with that vibration, and it's actually really nice to hear.
Like you and I working in the same room, we work pretty far from each other, and when you were testing this just a couple of weeks ago, we all just head snapped.
Yeah,
we were like,
It's
wow,
wow, okay,
it's loud.
These
So
are pretty good.
It's not going to knock your socks off, right? It's not a MacBook, but it is really good, to be fair. So you want to take us into a solo play? We'll run this for about 10 minutes.
I'm not good at the game, okay?
Yeah, if you're here for that,
Don't
you're here
come
for the
here
wrong
for my
reasons.
skill.
So, we have any questions while Evan is loading this up? We've got a lot from Jason.
We're doing Call of Duty after this.
Yes, absolutely.
So
we'll do some
we'll
more
get
zone.
there.
So yes, Jason, it's not a bad idea, of course, for us to pit this up against a Clevo. If you want to name a few that you might like to see, that's something we might look into. Just haven't really seen too much from them. We've really enjoyed, but yeah.
True.
And why only an MSI Titan for benchmarks, and why not a Clevo? That's just what we had so far. The Titan is something that we put up against our systems last time, so we thought it would be fun to do so this time. It's a very expensive computer, and we thought, man, maybe that's the best that's out there. I think Jared's Tech put a review out perhaps today on that as well.
Today or yesterday. Yeah. It was recent.
So, it was just kind of fun for us to go back and have a look at that again and see what their version of greatness looks like. And I think we fared pretty well. So that was a lot of fun, beating it in a lot of benchmarks, which was really cool for such a small little laptop. So yeah, we aren't against doing other things. It's just a matter of sourcing those laptops and spending the time to have some fun with it. So
I'm just gonna land so we can kind of show settings off at first.
Sure.
And hope that nobody else came. Oh, look at that! Somebody else came here. So I'm gonna try and land and survive first.
So you'll notice that the GPU utilization is near 100%. This is definitely an ideal situation, especially for showcasing, the best foot forward for a frame rate. Now, of course, we can increase the CPU wattage, and that the only thing that would do from a positive standpoint is it might improve the 1% lows, but I can tell by him playing there's really not a lot of judder or stuttering. I think we're dialed in pretty good. That's the beauty of the control center, is you can dial that stuff in. You will see in Warzone a little bit different reality there, as it won't always stay at that 98% GPU utilization. But all in all, pretty impressed with these settings, pretty impressed with the performance.
Yep.
It's not bad. No. And again, it is so cool and quiet.
Yeah.
And near the WASD, 33 degrees Celsius. So during my reviews that I had done, over the years, once the skin temperatures of your keyboard would hit around 50 degrees Celsius, it was very uncomfortable. And 40 was considered, hey, that's pretty good. And so for this machine to be running now for around 40 minutes and running relatively hard, for it to be in the mid 30 degrees Celsius range, right in the hot spot, is class leading, tier 1, in my opinion. And then fan acoustics, it's not even worth picking up. I mean, it's going to be 30-something decibels.
It
is
so
quiet.
Silent.
We hear the outside with the door open right now more so than I hear the laptop.
Yeah.
So kudos to the liquid propulsion package for just making that experience that much nicer. Now, the funny thing about all this is right now the system between the CPU and GPU is pulling 185 watts. In 2017, wattage would have been maybe half this. You would have had your max Qs starting to come out. You would have been 80 watts on a graphics card, and 35 to maybe 45 watts if you had dual channel memory for your CPU.
Oh, let me show off settings.
So it's hysterical that we're able to bump the wattage up this much and have very cool temperatures.
So full screen, DX12, motion blur off, as it always should be.
Absolutely.
Quality, obviously epic. Super resolution, you turned off.
I did turn that off, yeah, and I wanted to run 3D resolution at 100%.
Right, and then everything else is epic.
And then I typically do turn off ray tracing for a lot of tests like this. I mean, you're more than welcome to do so and use it. For competitive games like this. This is already sort of pushing the limits on what most people would run anyway, and it looks very nice. If it were me, I would be shooting for 120 FPS.
I would tweak some things, but I mean, you're not really gonna have to tweak much, which is the nice thing. Right.
And by pushing the system harder than this, the GPU is really not going to get any hotter because it's already running at 98%, and the CPU utilization would actually go down a little bit. So it would technically run a little bit cooler. Figure this is a pretty nice balance of high-end graphics as well as a good stress test for thermal expectations. Meanwhile, ambient temperature in here is a little cooler. It is in the upper 60s, so that is something to keep in mind. With that said, if it was in the upper 70s, I don't think you're going to get an additional 10% increase in temperatures. You might see 2 or 3 degrees Celsius, so just a few percent at the most.
It's a good question. Why they keep putting motion blur in games, I don't know. I mean, I get it to a point. Like if people want to make cool videos and they kind of want it to look like a movie.
Right.
I get that, but that doesn't happen often. But I don't know. I guess maybe it's just an easy enough thing for them to be like, oh, they can just turn it off if they want. But I don't know anybody. The only people I know that play with it are people that don't even realize they can turn it off or that it's even a thing that like is happening. Like they don't even realize.
I know somebody that most people will know of that loves motion blur. Jay's 2 cents.
Really?
Uh-huh. Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah. Really, you can ride a motorcycle.
Wow. Oh yeah. I'm not good at it.
Don't they have a Rocket League something about
this
game?
Yeah.
What is that all about?
It's just like racing.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not anything special. Farmer said he liked it though.
Nice. Well, he would. He's fantastic at Rocket League.
It's true.
So are you in a good spot for us to increase the wattage within the control center?
Yeah.
I'm very curious to see how hot we can make this
Let me get in a building.
So guys, keep in mind, right now 35 watts for the CPU. And the RTX 4090, it's at 150 watts. And we're getting CPU temperatures around 70, GPU mid-60s now, and it's been running for, we got to be getting close to 50 minutes. So let's see if we can really cook this thing. So let me alt-tab out.
How's everybody doing? I hope you guys enjoy this because I'm hoping to be able to do this more often and maybe do like play with people in the community, like a certain game or whatever, but just hoping to be able to stream more. So fingers crossed. That boss man watching this, shout out you.
He is. He's definitely watching.
That we keep continuing this and improving. Oh, 45 watts.
So now we have maxed out the wattage. Sorry about that.
No.
Evan, do you have control again?
Hold on. Hopefully I can change it.
Or does it think we're back using mouse and keyboard, so it disabled the controller? I wonder if you unplugged it and plugged it back in. At least you have somewhat control.
Oh, no, we're back. Okay,
Nice.
That was weird. Yeah, it's weird that it does, like, some control, but you can't, like, turn. Why? I don't really know.
So now, I don't know if you've noticed, right? But now the graphics card, the CPU wattage has bumped up a little bit. And you can just, ever so slightly, but you can hear the fans in the laptop, right? Kind of moved up just a little bit.
I guess.
It's subtle.
It's
but it
still
has come
so
up.
quiet that
Yeah.
I can't even, I'm not like, whoa, okay, there they go. I didn't even realize that they may have.
Yeah. Frame rate wise,
That water looks really good.
that's not bad. Yeah, I
Actually
will
looks
admit.
good.
Epic's done a good job with this.
Yeah.
Graphically,
It looks
pretty
good,
pretty.
but it's just, I feel like it eats at people's hardware for no reason.
Yeah. At least there's a lot of settings in there to tune it.
It's true. I felt like there was more, though. Like last time we did this, I feel like there was more. Oh, there was somebody here. Bro, how are my bullets not... Jeez. I'm not that bad, people. I swear.
So thanks for joining the stream, anybody that's just now joined. We appreciate it. We've got the HYDROC-16. Right now, I have turned up the wattage within Control Center. The BIOS is running optimized defaults. There's no trickery or shenanigans here. Epic settings, 1600p resolution, which is very, very high resolution. You know, if we were 1080p like 6 years ago, my gosh, this thing would be just annihilating the frame rate. But it wouldn't look this good either.
No.
So very pretty screen, very bright at 500 nits.
Yeah, what are the brightness for the Max and this? Are they the same or are they going to be different?
I'm pretty sure the Max is as bright. I do know that this one here, 100% sRGB and 500 nits. So a lot of which we've been able to test on many of our 500 nit panels, and they do not come in any lower than that. So, and I have seen them up a little bit higher. It's a nice display.
It is.
240 hertz, G-Sync, Advanced Optimus. That's on the HYDROC. The new Max
this one
will not feature G-Sync or Advanced Optimus.
Never used either.
Really?
Yeah.
But they are on right now, so I didn't disable G-Sync. I didn't disable VBS.
I shouldn't say that I've never.
Right, but I mean it's just on your own personal computer.
Yeah.
So I didn't try to do anything that would be a little odd out of the box. This is a plug and play expectation. This is a fresh image. There's no retooling of anything behind the scenes. There are certainly things that you could do that we have featured on stream to help bump up the performance a little bit, and anybody is welcome to do so. But I really wanted to create a realistic expectation, and I can't convey that enough, especially just how quiet and cool this is right now.
I mean, for the GPU to be at 98, just sitting
98%,
at 98 and staying at 64, I mean, it's pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't complain with that.
So we'll ride this out for a few more minutes, and then we'll give Warzone a try.
Just let them drive by.
Just curious what the new cooling solution for the HYDROC-16 2023, if you're allowed to purchase, will help it offer air cooling or just water cooling. So if you're referring to the hydraulic chamber that's on the HYDROC, that will not be compatible with other systems. And the way this whole solution is designed, it's actually able to run a little bit higher power limits as well. So it's more of a combination of the motherboard as well as the hydraulic chamber. So hopefully that answers your question. If not, feel free to reword it, and I could do a little bit better job about getting that answer for you. But as far as cooling solution upgrades that are coming out on laptops for 2024, will likely not be backwards compatible. And I say likely, let's say you're talking about a Mech 17 that's coming out for this year versus the Mech 17 that came out for 2023. Sourcing those coolers, we talked about that in the last stream, and that may not be something that's feasible for us. It's not out of the question, but I do know that the hydraulic chamber will not be compatible with our previous models.
We're down to 10 other people.
10. Well, you got this.
I'm actually like deep in this game. I wasn't expecting this.
Yeah, you win. Wendy's on me.
Now I gotta get serious.
Right, though, wasn't there a solution similar to what's going to appear on the Mech 17? The Mech 17 GP3 cooler is just going to take the routing of the water pipes. Instead of it being on just the graphics card, it's going to circle around the CPU die, and that's really the only additional change. Power limits and everything else is going to remain the same. So it really is just a refresh. I can't wait to do some testing on that particular unit, but this one here has just really drawn the attention of everybody within the company, and we're working hard to get this one ready as the
We just
Mech
need
17.
it to be white.
Yeah, as the Mech 17 we're all very familiar with and kind of have a good expectation as to what that's going to look and feel like. It's not that we haven't used it. We have, and it's nice. It's the laptop that I use quite a bit in the office.
You have more questions?
Jason would be very interested if they do actually offer that, because the motherboard and
Hi,
power
John.
limitations, it's actually a little bit different for us anyway. Oh, nice. Look at that. I said surge pricing as a joke. John, you are a funny guy. All right, Evan, no pressure, man. But we got to get into Warzone.
Hush. Hush.
Look at those temperatures.
There. Oh, the recoil. I don't like it.
That's why I got to play with a mouse.
Oh, I don't like that either. Come on, hit me.
Question: the full-size NVMe heatsink, nice touch. Would that work for the Mech-16? It won't. It won't work for the Mech-16. So there's two reasons why. The space on the sides of the NVMe are a little tighter, but more importantly, on the bottom panel, there is on the bottom panel in the Mech-16 and Mech-17, there is a metal plate that has a thermal pad, and it's just a lot different of a design versus the HYDROC is without that. It's quite a bit different of a setup, so those two things combined allow us to really explore some nice heatsink solutions for our NVMe drives.
Why did I not reload? Thank you. I don't know where that guy went.
They're running from you.
I know.
They don't want any of
that. But I was running from them.
Your character is pretty scary. I'd run from that too. What is that?
It's a skeleton thing that I thought was cool. And a dog on my back.
Nice, Jason. Glad you like the Mech-16. It's a pretty practical unit. All black, 16 inches. It's definitely. It's a system that makes sense. We will not be carrying that, though, for 2024. This replaces it. So, for those that are sad to see it go, we do apologize. But it just definitely makes sense with this HYDROC being as good as it is.
I need these other people to just kind of like...
Yeah, they need to fade off. You were too good at this, Evan. And... there's no audio, like Evan is playing this.
Oh, it's silent for me.
Yeah.
You guys can hear it, but I can't.
Jason, yeah, appreciate that comment with the 48 gigabyte SODIMM modules for the 96 gigabyte of RAM being very hot. It's a densely packed PCB with all those chips on there. And so, those that know what you're doing, you could have some errors. Errors are not good. We want a stable system. We want a fast system, but we want stability.
Did this stream freeze? Oh, no, we're back. Okay, that was weird. I did have a lag spike in the game, too, so maybe something was up with the connection.
So, keyboard transplant from the HYDROC to the Mech-16. I don't blame you. I think out of all the keyboards featuring a numeric pad on our laptops for the last several years, this one's great. This one, along with the Max 15, which is the same, it's nice. It is nice. Now, it does do away with the mechanical keyboard, but the per key RGB membrane with the enter key, I like it. What's there to say? It's a nice keyboard. We look forward to getting a lot of feedback from that too, especially from, gamers, of course. Sometimes gamers will use external keyboards, but in the business environment, professional environment where people just carry a laptop around, I'd be very curious to see what kind of feedback we do get on that, because this is a very nice keyboard. We're very proud of this.
I can't aim, and I need to... Oh, the fence, dude. Jeez, that was... Wait, get up there. No.
Nice job, man.
Shot by all sides.
You are ridiculous. That was awesome with no sound.
That was the worst accuracy at the end, but it's fine.
Nice job, Evan.
That was so much better than I was expecting.
So, with the control center, just letting her rip, I think the temperatures are pretty good. Yes, this was on the liquid propulsion package. We can definitely explore air cooling, perhaps at a later date, but keep something in mind. Our laptops kind of do some rule-bending wattage shenanigans, and...
Are we done with Fort?
Yeah, we're done with this one. Let's go into Warzone. So we're going to do our best to try to push as much wattage as we can into these systems. So an air-cooled system at maximum wattage. Expect to hear it, expect to feel it. But that's something we can explore and showcase, perhaps for the next stream.
Yeah, there's still a lot of things we can continue doing with these.
Things, absolutely.
This was just the start. Like, there's a lot of other games for us to test out.
Can I go back into... You know what? Let's just leave this be. Let's just let it max out. I think we proved the point in Fortnite. I mean, let's see how hot we can get this. Now, the Warzone title is going to be pretty CPU demanding, I think. A lot of draw distance there. It's going to be fun to see just how hot we can actually make this CPU. And then we can tune it after that, because I do know how it performs at my preferred settings, which we did explore earlier, and it did.
Yeah, I'll show them the settings right now. So these are our display settings.
Can you change that?
This?
Yeah, can we do anything? Why is it 144?
That's just telling us what our refresh rate is.
Our refresh rate's 240 on the monitor, so that's all right.
I was going to say, that's not something I can really change until I go into like something else. Render resolution, that's like good.
Absolutely. Turned off dynamic resolution.
Upscaling.
Turned off any kind of ray and path tracing.
Okay.
And then everything else I had like on high. Or maybe higher. And when we were playing this before, what was your average frame rate? Around 120?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Yeah, 110, 120.
Cool.
Yeah, everything is up.
You know, the scalability with the CPU, as powerful as it is, along with the DDR5, you can manage some pretty solid frame rates even onto these more demanding games that are competitive and popular. All right, Evan, Matt, let's see what you got.
Is the HYDROC running the 6400 megahertz?
Yes, it is. Yeah, we are running the Manix 32 gigabyte kit.
I was gonna say, you guys were the ones that built this, so.
Yep.
This isn't one of mine for a hunch.
So we'll let this rip for about 10 minutes, and then I want to take skin temperatures of the keyboard again, see if we can get that closer to 40 degrees Celsius.
I don't like Warzone. I'm going to say that now.
I think my favorite battle royale is Apex Legends.
Apex was really fun.
Yeah.
I really like the arenas in that, the 3v3.
You got me hooked on that for a short amount of time.
Yeah.
It wasn't enough action for me, but
really?
Yeah, but it was good for the game. I miss Titanfall 2 multiplayer.
I do too.
Yeah.
I missed the campaign of that too.
That was a great campaign.
It was.
And I like just the pilots only for the multiplayer minus the mechs. I know that kind of defeated the purpose of the game, but I just thought
the gameplay was just
the
so
gameplay was so
good.
smooth. Yeah, it was good.
And that's what's a big thing about Apex.
Yeah.
Is gameplay is so smooth.
Felt like it was a more athletic Black Ops 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at the time I was young, so I was like, I don't like this game because these kids are too good. They're too fast. Now it's like, I want that again.
Yeah, I used to say that a long time ago. Oh, Mr. Mike is leaving. Excellent.
Bye, Melee. And Farmer, I guess. I've never heard of Plunder. You can change full screen exclusive. You can change the Hertz screen only in full screen. Okay.
So we are HYDROC-16 liquid propulsion package. Let's see what kind of wattage we're gonna get.
Screen. No, yeah, we'll keep it there.
Yep.
What else did he say?
I don't know if that's even gonna change much.
I don't know. Oh no, any competitive game I'm done with. The last one I did was, I don't even know if I would count Rocket League, maybe Valorant. I took kind of serious for a little bit, and then gave up on that, and that was really it, because I hated going home and being like, I want to play a game, and then stressing and raging and dealing with little kids.
Can you guys see the frame rates and everything displayed? Prima just messaged me and asked if we could display it, so I didn't know if it was not visible to you.
It's there.
Looking at the stream, it does look pretty small. Obviously, we have a computer in front of me.
I'd rather not go bigger because it's just going to take up half of my screen then. But if we have to do that, we have to do that.
But yeah, it is showing for us right now 140 FPS.
So it's a little small, but it's there.
If you guys do need us to make that a little bit larger, I'm happy to do so. Anything we can to handicap Evan because he's too good.
Shut up.
So I already took sound away.
I'm not.
Now we're gonna take your mini map away.
I also don't have a gun, so that's fun. Listen, game. People in this game win with guns. Thank you.
Here, let's make it a little larger.
All right.
You gonna go prone?
Hopefully nobody walks in the room.
All right. Let's try that.
It reminds me of when people have their icons on their computer super big. Or when I use my parents' phone and their text is like blown up. I get it.
Enjoy it, 2020 vision.
I know. I'm hoping that I
Enjoy it.
won't have to hit that anytime soon. See a TTP. You bum.
All right. Thanks for the feedback, guys. Hopefully that does help. We did make that just a little bit larger. And so far, so good. Everything is running very well. Nothing is hidden from you guys. Optimized defaults in the BIOS. The control center wattage was just, thrown to the right, and we'll let the game do its thing based on how well it's optimized. Warzone is going to be pretty harsh on the CPU. If you're looking at CPU utilization, that doesn't always tell the truth. We don't want that at 100%.
Don't do it.
Because we don't want it using all 32 threads, but we do want that GPU running nice near 100%.
That's where sound would have helped. I had no clue.
He can't bag you like that, man. That's messed up. Unreal. Unreal performance from this thing. Unreal thermal capability as well.
Oh, you would use a smoke, you loser. Where are you? See ya.
No way.
Got him.
Nice. Nice.
Screw your smokes. Get that out of here.
Well done, Evan.
He knows he was going to lose anyway.
Let's take a temperature of the keyboard. So we were at 34 degrees when I tested it earlier, and it's at 33 and 34 degrees still. So, not bad, not bad. Fan acoustics. It picks up your button.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's in the mid to high 30 decibels.
Here, wait. Oh.
No, it's...
Yeah. 41 was the highest.
41 was the highest decibel reading. Air-cooled laptops, and especially some of the louder ones, our air-cooled laptops tend to be a little bit more on the quiet side lately, which, in my opinion, is very nice. Obviously, if we could crank it up and move more air, that might be very appealing to some. Reality of it is, when you put this up against, I'll use the Titan for example, that hits around 60 decibels, it's definitely an ear sore, and it's something that you would want to experience in order to really appreciate what something like this, the HYDROC, the liquid propulsion package, really does for you. It's a nice experience, and it's not a pain in the butt to use.
It's not.
You leave it at home. You unplug it. You take your laptop to work.
I would recommend leaving it at home.
Sure.
It's just another thing to have to deal with when this runs perfectly fine on air.
Absolutely. Yeah, performance-wise on air, I mean, it's like 98% as good.
Yeah.
It's just, it's louder and warmer,
a little bit
which
louder,
is pretty standard. Despite the hydraulic chamber, if we were to take a Mech 16 or maybe Prometheus 16 from 2023 and set the wattages very similar to this, and maybe we can do that in an upcoming stream, we can really see just how efficient the hydraulic chamber is for an apples-to-apples type comparison, which might be really fun. So that would be something I would very much enjoy doing, to really see just how efficient this cooler is on air. Because on water, it's not even fair. I mean, you're not getting temperatures like this at wattages like this anywhere, unless you're in a desktop.
Right.
And even our test benches upstairs run this warm, if not warmer. So
no, it's actually really impressive with these.
Yeah,
as a
frame
desktop,
gen and DLSS is off.
Yeah, as a desktop fanboy over laptops, personally, it's very impressive to see what these can do.
Yeah. Jason, sorry to hear about your 8 terabyte Saber, and hopefully we were able to get that covered. I don't have a ton of experience with that brand, although I do have the little Saber heatsink inside my son's PS5 for the additional NVMe storage. So I think they do a pretty good job with stuff like that. Jason, we heard you on that. I think, I don't know if we have, I'll have to see if we have any Mech 16 4090s in house. I know we don't have any more new ones, and we won't have. I'll see if I've got one at my desk that a used one that I could pull out and indefinitely run the test against. That's something I'll look into come Monday or Tuesday and see what we can do about that. Evan, you got to get out there and start smashing people.
Listen,
and then
this is completely different.
What was the other game? Cyberpunk.
Yeah. What time is it? Oh. Yeah, I guess we still have a little
We got
bit.
time.
That's the thing with this game is I feel like no matter what I do, it's like I'm just running around for half the time trying to find people. Whereas with Fortnite, I felt like it was a little bit easier. Not that I like Fortnite better, but...
You find the color palette in this? Maybe hard to spot people?
Terrible.
Yeah.
The color palette in this is dog water. Compared to, like, even just any... Like, not...
Well, even like Treyarch type.
Yeah, I can't
Call of
compare it to
Duties, they're
Fortnite, but, like, even
a little
other
brighter.
CODs, any
Yeah.
other game, Apex, like, it's just... The color in this is...
Very bland. Everything
It's
blends.
so bland. I can't even say it's gray, because it's not, like, gray. It just feels gray. If that makes any sense.
Certainly does. So for whatever reason, right there, that was interesting. You would see like GPU utilization go down. Maybe the stuff popping out of that box is just...
I think so.
Has a weird CPU core limitation there where it just is too much for it. But this is game optimization here. This is out of our hands. All we can do is just throw enough power at it to muscle through it. It's one of the reasons why I used to feature Battlefield in all of my my testing, because that engine, that Frostbite engine, does a really good job of scaling to faster memory, more threads, more GPU. It's really good. Maybe not a popular game, and I didn't even enjoy playing it that much over the last few variants, but I do appreciate how it lets me know just how good the hardware is and the modifications that I am making to it. Unfortunately, it's not popular enough for me to even benefit from utilizing that software for a stream like this, because it just doesn't garner much interest on its own.
It's so hard to tell where I'm getting like shot at from.
Guys up
Yeah,
there.
I know. They're gulagging down. But I was also getting shot by other people. Don't know where.
Guys, I really look forward to you guys getting your hands on this machine. This is so great. The way they have the water routed in the hydraulic chamber, around the dies, around the components, it's so nice. It's really neat to see the first generation liquid propulsion package. And then with the second generation, I like the liquid cooler a little bit better.
What is happening here?
I don't know. But the routing, not going over the CPU, was an interesting choice. Turned out to be okay if you knew what you were doing from a tuning standpoint. And then now the third time,
good thing I
it
didn't
was.
go there.
Oh, did somebody put that there?
So yeah.
The third time is the charm, and this is just so well refined. Now all we need is some new stuff from Intel and NVIDIA, so we'll see what's to come in a year from now.
Let's make our own.
Let's make our own, okay? What I would really like to see is this kind of performance at half the wattage, and then we would have a very, very fun laptop life. I mean, because we've built these computers over the years and evolved them to handle a ton of wattage, and if we got a wattage reduction at the same performance or better, we would have ridiculously cool systems. But I have been hoping for that day for about 5 years, and it's still going in the other direction. So we got to keep playing hardball and keep evolving the hardware so we can bend some rules a little bit.
Being hunted.
You are being hunted, huh? How many people are left? 20, 38?
38. Like, that's a lot still, and I feel like I've been in this game forever.
XMG's delay to their Mech 16 in May. Well, it shouldn't. No, we hope to have pre-orders up for the black version of this end of March, early April. So, and the shipment that we'll be receiving by air will be X amount of size. It'll probably sell out pretty quick. So if you do see the pre-order and you really want one of these, try to snag it early on. We do have the current BIOS in this pretty far along. To be fair, there's really not a whole lot more tuning that would really need to be done here. Because this is a refresh, a lot of the hard work came in the beginning of 13th gen, so we're able to really hit the ground running for this one. And that's going to help minimize delays, which is a blessing of a refresh. And so I personally feel pretty good about the current status of this system. And so once pre-orders go live, I can't promise you that we're going to have a ton available right off the bat. And if they sell out in a couple of days, definitely snag it. And then, of course, we'll have a bunch more followed behind that. Get him, Ev. Come on.
Somebody was shooting at me, and now the guy that was hunting me was close, and now, oh, yeah, he's close again.
On the HYDROC, have you noticed a difference using dedicated GPU versus Optimus? This would be Advanced Optimus, so DDS, same thing. I just wanted to clarify that in case anybody was curious. And from a gaming standpoint, no, not really. Not really. Nothing too crazy. As a nerdy tech guy, gamer, I tend to switch it to dedicated GPU anyway. But no, I really don't notice any difference. Advanced Optimus and Hybrid Optimus, those things were always just there for like the convenience, of the end user. So if you wish to just leave it there and let the machine take care of itself, that's what it's there for. And generally speaking, I don't think you're going to notice a difference. And I think you would be surprised how many people would order a laptop and not even really realize that multiplexer switch is in the BIOS. They just run it the way that it comes, which is fine. These are set up to do very well in that state for a good reason, to be fair. So it does work out pretty well in that regard. Come on, Evan.
I need shields.
You need shields? Oh, the little plates that you put on your chest. Price range. I don't know. I don't know if anybody knows that right now.
Bro, where? There we go.
That's not something that, we typically discuss internally. But once it's live and posted, then we'll all sort of know where we stand on that.
Drops.
Tell me if it's a Prima BIOS. Come on now. Of course it's a Prima BIOS in here. Absolutely. But it's at optimized defaults with maybe a 70 millivolt undervolt. The BIOS in these are heavily massaged, let's say. But yeah, we didn't do anything outside of how it would be received. Close to no pricing or not. I'm not. Hey, we might go pricing tomorrow. I don't know, but I don't know pricing, and that's not something that Evan and I get involved in. Once it goes live and you guys have your eye out on the website, you might figure it out the same day that I would. It's just not a discussion that any of us are really typically a part of or even need to be a part of. We've got our hands full with more important things like playing video games.
That's true.
The sun's coming out.
Sun will come out tomorrow. Bet you bottom dollar tomorrow.
So once Evan wins this,
Ha!
we'll put Cyberpunk 2077 on. It's a lot more casual, right? We don't have people trying to take his head off. Then we can focus a little bit more on the questions and do some chit-chatting. That game does do a pretty good job of stressing the system as well.
Oh, yeah.
So that'll be nice. We can see how hot we can make this with the liquid propulsion package. But all in all, the HYDROC-16 is holding its own thermally very well. And I'm a little impressed with Warzone. I really haven't played any of this since it came out. Take them out.
Ha, loser.
It wasn't this well optimized a few years ago, I don't think. Or the hardware is just so much better now that we're kind of muscling through it. That could be it as well. Those that play this a lot would probably be able to answer that better than myself. So I am making an assumption, but it does seem like from the statistics in the top left-hand corner that this is optimized reasonably well. And those temperatures, my gosh.
This is the kind of computer we need. Yeah.
That one right there?
Yeah. Look, it's got USB 3.0 and 2.0.
I had monitors like that.
It's got,
VGA
it's got this
and Super VGA.
Probably 240 hertz 4K monitor. It's just a sleeper monitor.
I was building machines like that before you were born. All right, Wendy's still on the line.
I know. That's why I'm nervous. I really never expect to get this deep into a game. How are there still 15 people and the circle is this small already? Like, I don't want to camp, but, like, what else do I do?
Jason, these are not mechanical keys. This is a first ever per key RGB membrane solution with a proper number pad with an enter key. It's a nice keyboard, but it is not using the Cherry MX. But
I'm nervous.
Unanimously, everybody seems to like this keyboard a lot.
This one?
Yeah.
It has a really, really nice feel to it.
It does. Not a lot of key wobble. Just feels good. Feels like a step up. I mean, don't get me wrong, those Cherry keys are very sturdy, and they're nice. And if you like that, well, the Mech 17 will still be around.
I hate playing
Overclocking
like
and undervolting video needs more attention. I will only speak for myself and not the company on this behalf, but I would be very cautious myself on producing a video like that. It would have to be worded and done in a way to where expectations are not compromised, as we could have 10 of these systems next to each other and some may undervolt better than others. And if I just so happen to get the cherry-picked golden unit, right, and I set up and now we're getting a 200 megahertz boost on the graphics card, which is pretty rare. 150 is a little bit more standard, and we're hitting over 500 on the memory, which is, it can be done more times than not. But if I pull something out and it's just remarkable, now everybody's like, well, this is just how it should be. And that's just not really the case. Excuse me. Those videos are fun, especially when you start locking up systems, which I think is fun to capture that live since we have the setup here to do that.
Yeah.
So, not personally against it. I just want to make sure that, you know, everybody understands that once you start going down that road, results are going to vary. But if you're really slick with it, you can use that voltage curve editor and kind of get a clock speed and voltage and wattage dialed in. Oh, no.
No, you were weak.
That was close.
Oh,
that was so close. Nice job, man. Great work.
Yeah. They were so weak, too.
What were you? Third place. Third place. No audio. I'm talking the whole time. Evan's answering stuff here and there. That's impressive, man. You're pretty good.
Thank you.
Yeah. I should have brought more water.
Oh, I just opened mine, too, so I couldn't even give you mine.
Oh, so we don't undervolt in the control center. That's just wattage. So that's a big difference. That's not going to induce instability or anything like that. Anything we do in the control center is fine. So we, you know, thermal guides for laptops, absolutely. I do plan on having content like that. But undervolting's different. Undervolting and those kind of things is a stability testing nightmare that's going to have a lot of variance from one HYDROC to the next. Silicon lottery.
Cyberpunk time.
All right, so Cyberpunk, good, thank you.
Thank you for the GG to my performance.
You did great.
I was not expecting that.
So let me just, this thing is great. Now there is some openings by the WASD that tends to draw a little bit of air in for optimized cooling. So maybe that's why the skin temperatures of the WASD keys under load are around 34 degrees Celsius. That's some of the coolest I have seen. I've seen U-based processors in HP Spectres run hotter than that at load. So that's pretty impressive. So I went into this title earlier, adjusted some settings, turned off any kind of ray tracing, 100% resolution scaling was what I believe I had it set at, and a lot of the settings would have been put to high, I believe.
Texture quality high, crowd density high,
Yep.
Film grain off, motion blur off.
And I think even with these settings in the city, which is a pretty demanding location, we're probably still maybe 60 FPS or something. So it's
ultra,
it's a pretty
high,
harsh
high,
game.
high,
So, yeah.
ultra, psycho, high, high, high. Wait, we can go. No, we can't. That's the highest. Everything is as high as it can go.
And then go to the video tab, please.
Thank you, Jason. Where? Video?
Yeah, bump over one. Okay, full screen. Good. We're good. For years, I had a spot in the city that I kept using over and over again to compare wattages and frame rates and things like that for past videos.
Where?
I don't remember. I'd have to pull up the game, but it was in the city somewhere. My game save is still there. So yeah, 60 FPS. Let's see how hot we can make this, because I know the CPU can get a little weird in this title. I swear I just saw it hit like 80 for a second there.
Let me get my car. Is there a problem?
None.
You're wondering how I was skipping through?
Yep.
It's because, look, ready? Hold on. I have
Jeez.
everything.
Man, your guy's jacked.
Yeah.
Huh.
So where should I go?
Just drive around.
Driving.
Look at that. Looks good. Frame rate's a little too close for me. Frame rate is a little too close. I would rather have it be over 60. But with a controller, it doesn't feel quite as bad as it would with a mouse.
No, that's very true. Which is why everyone should use controller.
For games like this.
Especially driving.
Yeah.
I don't know why anybody would use keyboard and mouse for that.
The only keyboard and mouse driving and flying I can do is in Battlefield. And I don't like the planes, but everything else I'm fine with.
I can see the planes being weird. Oh, too much. Wait, I want to take out those guys.
So it looks like the CPU starting to settle a little bit. We had a spike there early on. I thought I saw 80 or 82 degrees. I want to see if we can get this a little bit hotter.
How so?
I'll just let it run and kind of keep an eye on it. I kind of want to just see if these fans will ramp up at all, but we've been running this for about an hour and a half now.
I was going to say, they haven't done anything. They haven't needed to. I'm staying towards crowds.
Yeah.
Because that really...
That'll be very CPU demanding.
Yeah. Like we can we do yoga?
What are they doing?
I don't know.
Is it Tai Chi or something?
Like imagine doing Tai Chi in your business vest. And this guy's not even doing it. They're just doing it in front of him. Interesting. I want to find...
Not bad. Not bad. HYDROC-16, running cool, running quiet.
Very quiet.
90 minutes in. We're probably near an hour into the stream, but 30 minutes prior to that, we were running it before we brought it into the studio, so there's that time as well, although it's going to cool off a little bit, just setting it up for a minute or two, but this machine's definitely been abused today, and to see this kind of result it's nice.
Yep.
Out of a laptop that's, it's small.
It is.
Wouldn't you say? Like, this is a pretty petite laptop, even compared to our 16-inch.
It's a very
Prometheus.
nice size. Like,
Yeah.
if you're going to be carrying this around and taking it places,
Yeah,
maybe not even with the LPP, very, very good size.
Yeah.
It's sleek. It feels nice. Oops, that's barbed wire.
Oh, and the Max 15, that is,
Uh-huh.
that's even more so. Not LPP compatible, of course, but
Doesn't need to be.
I think that's going to be pretty popular. 4060, 4070 in that model. Should be pretty simple to keep cool with some good adjustability, since those graphics cards do not demand the wattage. And I think that's a very well put together system for the hardware that is going to be available in it.
Mm-hmm. Like, it just looks so good.
It does look good. It really does. Yeah. And even with the in-game settings as they are, to someone's point earlier, you know, with a little bit of overclocking, a little bit of tuning, probably would not take much to get pretty reliable 60 FPS in the city. And then when you venture outside, you know, to see 80 FPS.
You could just turn like 2 or 3 things down, like one setting,
yeah.
and it would be enough.
Exactly, and those things you probably wouldn't really even notice visually.
No. I mean, if you're that picky,
yeah,
I don't know what to tell you. Because, like, I'm picky. Like, I'll go to my friend's house, and they won't care. Like, they'll open a game, and I'm like, nope, go into the video settings. Let me see what you're running it at, and let me see what the settings are. And they're like, why do you do this every time? I'm like, you don't get it. I'm just...
The difference between ultra and high, or an optimized high, is so subtle. But yet the performance game, you get 100% FPS back sometimes. We could be running 100 FPS, and if we told everybody in the chat that, oh, we're running everything on Epic, you wouldn't know the difference.
No.
And that's talking to people that play this game a lot.
And it's funny, like when I play this at home on my 3070 desktop, granted it's a 3070, but
at 1440p.
Yeah, I need to turn the population from high to honestly sometimes low, and then it'll really play a lot smoother.
Your CPU might not like that then.
I have
probably why you're doing that.
5600X.
Yeah.
I'm an AMD desktop CPU fanboy.
Nice. They did a good job with Ryzen.
Mm-hmm.
We offer a 14-inch 40 series. It's been in discussion. I think what we really need to have, like Will, the owner of the company, would agree, a 14, a 16, and an 18-inch variant. And that's certainly not out of the question. It just, that's not something we're going to have for this year, if at all. But as we start to get closer into next year, maybe we can muster up something. So time will tell.
Look at the detail on the ground.
That's not bad. I like the cracking there in the asphalt. It's pretty slick. What did you do?
I actually threw a grenade.
The ground looked better than that grenade explosion.
Sorry. I'm trying to find water. Like reflecting water.
For me, having a 14-inch laptop is like
that's stupid.
That looks nice.
Like
I wouldn't want to give up on having 2 memory module slots, right? That we could occupy and upgrade. And a lot of like the G14 from Asus, I think, is still using one soldered solution and one removable. And it's not wise to compromise your memory capacities. I don't know how that would work with DDR5 since one module tends to perform very well, unlike the tail end of DDR4. But I think having the standard that we currently have now with upgradability with memory modules, having that carry over to 14-inch chassis, I find that would be important. Then again, heck, maybe it gets soldered and it comes with 32 or 64, but I can already sense that Will is shaking his head. Absolutely not.
Yeah, I don't see him.
And I agree with him on that. I'd rather not. Also, it's just you're compromised on space, and I don't want to compromise on upgradability.
We have done Fortnite and we have done Warzone and now Cyberpunk.
Yep, and we're gonna be wrapping it up here shortly. It's 5:04 p.m.
So send in your questions now or forever hold your peace.
Yeah, definitely. And let us know if there's anything you want to see in the comment section below. You don't have to make that comment now. Think about it. Once this posts live, the comments will eventually populate. We can take a look at this over the weekend and maybe put something else together for the next stream based on those comments and feedback.
We're also doing games that we already had. So say, for example, like Spider-Man or certain games like Dead by Daylight, all that kind of stuff. Those are games that we would have to buy. So for this week, we just did games that we already had that you guys asked for. And for future ones, if more and more people ask for certain games, we will get them. But right now, we do not have certain ones that people have asked for.
But this whole time, the last hour of stream, 30 minutes prior to that, I don't think we've seen temperatures really budge.
I haven't seen it go past.
There we go, 87, like a weird little like right there for whatever reason, 65 watts on the CPU right there.
Yeah.
This game does stuff like that. I find it so fascinating.
Ow.
And I would be very curious to see what the tuning limit is on that. If I back this down, how bad that would impact the graphics card. That was one thing I didn't explore on this for a long enough period of time.
Right.
But it would not take much for me looking at this today to get temperatures of the CPU consistently into the 60s and the graphics card probably closer to 60 degrees Celsius with the same performance with a little bit of tuning.
True.
Which is, I would have said that's impossible a few years ago. That there's no way you're going to be able to do that.
Is that open? No. I mean, it's just crazy. You're seeing the GPU just maxed out half the time, and it's just sitting at 67.
Pulling 175 watts when it can. Well, it wasn't that long ago. Gaming laptops had a 180 watt power supply, and we've got a graphics card.
I forget what mine had. My 1050 Ti one.
Maybe a 135.
Maybe.
It wouldn't have been any bigger than a 180.
Right.
That was that, what, Inspiron or something like that, Intel that we repasted last year. When will we update the website? More info on the HYDROC. Stay tuned. Keep your eye on it. Could happen soon. I don't know. But yeah, I would expect to see something maybe the end of this month, the latest. Nice job.
I thought I was out of the way.
Well, should we wrap it up?
Yeah, if there's no more questions or whatever.
Leggy, go back and check it out. We had Fortnite on Epic minus the super sampling stuff. And I think frame rate on there was typically around 60, wasn't it? Maybe a little bit more.
Yeah.
1600p resolution, running cool as a cucumber and
100%.
Quiet as could be.
Native resolution too.
Absolutely. Yeah, DLSS is great if you like it. I prefer an uncompromised image, and I think DLSS has come a long way. If you want to use it to get that frame rate cheat, it is there and it works. I just want to show raw performance. And my opinion on ray tracing is it's still a little bit gimmicky. So I figure this is a pretty harsh way to test a system. Can still get some respectable frame rates. Doing anything else up or down isn't going to change the thermal output of the system. I feel like where we had it set tonight is going to do a good job of creating a lot of heat. And we showcased the keyboard skin temperatures at around 34 degrees Celsius. I couldn't get it to go any hotter than that. And the laptop would hit, I think, peak decibels of 41. But it was usually around 37.
It was absurdly quiet.
Yeah.
It's weirdly quiet.
Now that it's off, it sounds the same way.
It's completely. I didn't notice a difference if there was one. It's that genuinely that quiet.
Yep.
So
it's neat.
Very neat.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
All right, let me go switch.
Nice job, Evan. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. And please ask the questions, and we'll see what we can do about stream coming up very soon.
Bye.
See you guys.